Hafalofa, and welcome to my channel. My name is Bree and I am the person behind this channel. I have two first names. The first name that I have is more so for professional purposes, but outside of those barriers, I prefer to be called Bree or referred to as Bree. People that know me on a personal level call me Bree, so like friends and family that grew up with me. I was born and raised on a super tiny island called Saipan, and I am Pacific Islander. My nationality is Chamorro. I can understand fluently, but to speak, I'm not super fluent. I feel like I can partially speak, but like I said, I understand way more than I speak. If you hear me speak, girl, you'll be like, oh, girl. Other Chamorro people are like, damn, girl, broken English, huh? See, just like that. Saipan is the island that I was born and raised on. It is one of 14 islands called the Northern Mariana Islands. It's a commonwealth and a U.S. territory, so just like Puerto Rico. Only 4 of these islands are actually inhabited. Guam used to be a part of our island, so there was 15 at one point, but they decided to just kind of break off. People in Guam are Chamorro as well, and the indigenous people of our islands are Chamorro. But now there's a mix. We have Hafalofa, which are the Carolinians. We have a lot of Filipinos, Chinese. We have also different parts of Micronesia, Palau, Yap, Kosrae, Chuk, Pohnpei, all our brothers in the neighboring islands that come to live on our island, our happy island of Saipan. Do I plan on having any more kids than Camila? Yes, I would love to have 3 total. Simply because although I love having one daughter who's like my bestie for the restie, I always think about her future. If I was to ever leave this earth, I want to make sure that she's with family. And so that's so important for me as a parent. Those are the things I think about for my future and for her future as well. I would love to have 3, but 2 is okay for me as well. I love being a mom. I feel like motherhood's one of the biggest contributions to society, and just in life in general. Camila is legitimately my best friend. So that little girlie is my little pearlie. What is my favorite childhood memory? So when I was young, my mom put me in this summer camp called Camp Hyatt. It's a camp that was, they do a lot of different summer camps though on Saipan now. I'm noticing, I don't know anymore post-pandemic, but I know pre-pandemic there was like a bunch of like camps during the summer for the kids. A lot of water sports. Those were like the best times. And I just remember every time I would go to Camp Hyatt, I think my mom would drop me like at brunch and they would always ask me, did you want pizza or would you like spaghetti? And keep in mind, like, we're at the resort, so every time they gave us something to eat, once we got there, it was resort food, so it was always A1. But I would always choose spaghetti, and I'm not gonna lie, the spaghetti that they served at the resort wasn't the spaghetti like I remember having like at home. Sorry, excuse me, your girl needs to drink a little bit of water, sippy sips. This is my daughter Stanley. I'm not so big into Stanley, but Camila Stanley. But yeah, so I remember I used to always go to Camp Hyatt, get super dark and tan. It was so much fun. And like one of my aunts, my dad's first cousin actually that I grew up with, she was also part of the camp. And I just had so much fun. Like that was the best time as a kid I could ever remember, because it was like pool, water sports, fun games and activities. And I just remember every day, like my mom would pack us snacks. Like I would have my own snacks and she would have her own snacks from her mom. And I just remember my mom would always put like chocolate pudding. So funny, because her mom would always put vanilla pudding and we would always swap. I don't know, growing up I wasn't super into chocolate. It wasn't until I got older, but I just remember always loving everything vanilla, even white chocolate. That was my jam. But yeah, those memories for sure. What does Camila exactly have in her diagnosis? So Camila is diagnosed inattentive type ADHD. She does not have any hyperactivity, thank you Lord. But she also has that in conjunction to auditory processing disorder, which technically just means that she can hear well. It's just her brain takes time to process information. So when I'm talking to Camila, whether it's explaining things, it's hard to do 1, 2, 3 steps with her, and instructions can be hard because again, she's not only dealing with the she's not only dealing with the APD, she's also dealing with the I wouldn't say ADD side, where distractibility is also a big issue. She gets easily distracted, but just kind of reminding her to focus and, you know, being kind to her brain. So a lot of times when I talk to Camila, I try to talk to her in a very, very level, calm demeanor. I first of all, let's just be honest, I talk so fast sometimes. And after Camila's diagnosis, like, it's taught me to really slow and dial it down. So just slowly, concisely, and allowing her more time so that her brain can process the information coming in. And right now we are doing therapy. So Camila is in therapy. She's been in therapy for a few months now. It took us over a year to get the actual diagnosis. And as part of that, and bridging the gap with her speech, we are going to be getting braces at the end of the month to help her correct her bite. She has a good bite, but sometimes, I don't know if you notice, but it's like somebody who has dentures who doesn't have them in, the speech sounds so different than when they actually have it in. So that's technically like what's going on. When you hear Camila speak, it's not very clear. Sometimes her enunciation is not as clear either. So just trying to make sure that I advocate for her in the best way to help her, have a quality of life. So yeah, Camila has inattentive type ADHD and APD. She's my special girly girl. And in fact, she always says to me, Mom, it's not a disability. It's a different ability. Okay? I'm like, okay, girl. But yeah. What are the goals that most excite me that I have for myself? Well, right now, I feel that I'm in a period of my life where I am just rebuilding. I have succeeded in several small goals already, and I'm proud of that. I definitely want to keep progressing, whether progress to you looks big or small. You know, I don't measure progress by big wins, small wins. I just measure progress by the day to day. If I'm progressing forward, then that's great. But knowing me, I'm a type A person, so it's like sometimes I don't have the patience for things, but I'm learning in my season right now, patience. I definitely want to keep pushing. I definitely want to get married. I definitely want to relocate and purchase my second home. And I definitely want to find a church fitting for my family. We've gone to several churches here in this side of the Pacific Northwest, and honestly, there hasn't been, I love every church I've been to, but there just hasn't been a church that spoke to my heart personally, and I'm just waiting until I find that feeling. And I definitely want to raise my children in the church and in sports, and just focus on evolving and growing in my gifts. Growing in my gifts. I think that's important. And just being the woman and person that Christ called me to be, which is also working on myself every day, working towards self-improvement. I never want to be the person I used to be. I look back and I just contemplate and do a lot of self-reflection. And there's so many things in life that I've gone through where I've evolved and I regressed. And now that I'm in a place in my life where I'm much more mature, and I think a lot of this is age. With age comes wisdom. I can look back and look at the things that I did not like about myself and work on that. And I just want to be a better human being in general. So being a better person to my children, or to my daughter, to my partner, to my parents, to my friends, to my family. That's all I care about right now in terms of self-improvement. What is my guilty pleasure, and what are things that help me calm down? Okay, that's a good question. For me, worship. Worship is so important in my life. Like, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm in a place of worship and I'm listening to music, I just feel an immense, it's so heavy, but it also lifts a big burden off of my chest. Like a weight gets lifted off of me. And I cry when I'm going through worship. You know, you ever had a cry or let a cry out but not feel, yeah, what am I saying? Have you guys ever experienced, there has not ever been a time where I've cried and not felt better afterwards? So that's what it feels like, releasing all of that, you know, everything that we've suppressed. So definitely worship helps me. It helps my central nervous system and it puts me back in place. Cleaning has always served as an outlet for me as well. It's also been super therapeutic. I think, like I said, organizing. I'm very type A. So organization helps me, being productive helps me, cleaning helps me. Those small things make a big difference for me. And purging, also unplugging, taking time off of social media to really be one with life. Because I feel like when you're on social media, you don't have a life, and I feel like everything right now, we live in a digitized era. And like I said, humans crave human interaction naturally, and I feel like everything has been made so convenient to where we could just slip people text messages and not actually go and visit them and see them and interact with them, you know, physically. But yeah, just that, and then a clean home, all my bills paid, my fridge and pantry stocked up, the car's clean, filled up with gas, money in my savings account coming in. You know, just being able to put money aside, pay my bills, do all that every month, that makes me the most happiest. But yeah, that also does make me feel the most alive. So soaking it all in. How did I meet Rick and where is he from? I met Rick over 16 years ago, actually. I was residing in San Diego, California at the time, and I was a freshman and he was attending Orange Lutheran. It's a private school out in Orange County, and he was a junior. And Rick is originally born and raised in Orange County, specifically Garden Grove, Westminster area. He's 100% Samoan, and he speaks fluently Samoan, speaks and understands. So that's where I met Rick over 16 years ago when I was living in California. What are my pet peeves? Okay, just gonna be 100% with you guys. Laziness is a big pet peeve of mine. People that self-loathe a lot, like I can't. There's one thing to be proud and there's one thing to be prideful, and I feel like there's a big difference. Not having any moral conduct or self-awareness bothers me. Like, I think as an adult, like I feel like there's a level to, you know, to being self-aware. And definitely procrastination. I don't like doing things at the last minute. Like I said, I'm a type A person, so I'm as organized as possible. What are my hobbies? When and how did I start? I don't know that I have hobbies, to be honest. I feel like anything that has to do with home and food and decor, sometimes a little designer is what makes me happy. Finding cute little spots that are aesthetically pleasing for food places. Like, I'm a foodie, and so trying out new places, any hole in the walls. I really love spicy food above everything. I love it's in my blood. But then I also feel like I'm the kind of person where it's like, if something is spicy, it's not spicy to me. Growing up on the islands, we always had the small bird chilies. I forgot what you call them. Donisali? I don't know, but they're so tiny and they pack a powerful punch. They're like 10 times the heat of Thai chilies. And we would, in Chamorro culture, we would have this thing called hot pepper paste, which is dunni. And it's a very high commodity. It's one of the actual staples in our culture is to have hot pepper paste. I know other cultures in the world have their own paste, powders. I love fresh, healthy foods. That's why I think Vietnamese food is on my top 4. But I love Vietnamese food. I love Laotian food. I love Laotian foods mainly because of the bidet, the stank. The fish sauce, girl, I'm with that, okay? It packs a powerful punch too. I love Laotian food, Filipino food, Japanese and Korean food. I love Hawaiian and Samoan, and of course Chamorro food as well. I even like Mediterranean food. I love a good gyro. I love shawarmas, and I like hummus. I like tomatoes, and I also love Mexican food. I love me a triple taco. I love that kind of stuff. Growing up, I also used to love eating tamales, but as I got older, not so much. I like panuchos. Panuchos are hella bomb, but I think that's more of like a I don't know, is that Salvadorian actually? But you know, Latin flair is the go-to. That's stink. I love me good guacamole as well. I love elotes, and just and horchatas. Oh my god. So what's so crazy to me is when you actually think about it, everywhere in the world shares like common foods. Like it's so crazy. Like in Southeast Asia, they make tamuan. In the Philippines, they make bilo-bilo. In Latin America, they make horchatas. And like in Samoa, they make otay. So it's like, it's so crazy, like all the combination of different foods and fusions, it kind of all goes together. Like, yeah. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed my video. Thank you so much for taking time today to spend with me and getting to know your person behind the screen. And I just want to say, no matter what you do, whatever you decide to do in life, if there's anything that's weighing heavy on you, just always turn to God, you know. I just want to say thank you, Lord, for everything again, for giving me this opportunity to spend time with my friends. And for every single day, thank you for my life, Lord, my health, my family, my protection. I hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe and join the Hafalofa family. Take care, Fafatay Tele, and Sizu Usma Asian. Thank you all so much. Bye-bye.